Guys, so the first thing we're going to go ahead and talk about today is sugar. Now, sugar usually originates from sugarcane, but it can also come from various other plants. Now, the main issues associated with a high sugar intake are obesity as well as diabetes. But the main thing I really want you to focus on is natural sugars versus processed sugars, all right? So we would love for you to decrease the amount of processed sugars that you intake on a daily basis. The reason being, they're just not as healthy for you. So intaking more fruits as well as vegetables tend to be a little bit better for you, all right? Now, in order to moderate our sugar intake, we're going to have to think about just what types of foods are we eating. So say for example, I have here your ordinary 20 fluid ounce soda bottle here. Now, the amount of sugar in the soda bottle is 65 grams, okay? So 65 grams converted over to teaspoons is going to be about 16 teaspoons, okay? So 16 teaspoons in the real world tends to look like this. So this is 16 teaspoons worth of nice soda that you and your family are enjoying either right now or maybe at the cookout, maybe you had it Memorial Day. I don't know. But here's the deal. You definitely want to moderate the amount of processed sugars that you are taking in, and especially the certain products that you are eating and drinking on a regular basis, all right? So the second thing we're going to go ahead and talk about today is essentially salt. Now, salt usually originates from either salt mines or sea or mineral rich waters that have been evaporated, okay? And naturally, the health issues that we usually tend to see with salt are high blood pressure. But the main thing that I really want you to focus on is the debate between salt versus salt. So which salt is healthier? Table salt, pink Himalayan, sea salt? Let's discuss. Salt, chemically speaking, is made out of sodium as well as chlorine, okay? And technically, their chemical makeup, or in their chemical makeup, some salts are less sodium heavy than others, all right? So different salt crystals have different levels or different amounts of sodium in them. But this amount is so slim and so small that really the main thing we want you to focus on is moderation, all right? That's the most important thing is moderation. So at the end of this debate, the answer really is salt is salt is salt. You need to focus on moderating the amount of salt that you're taking in, no matter what it is, so that you are keeping yourself as healthy as possible for your individual needs. So the next thing you're probably going to ask is essentially how much salt is too much salt? Well, in order for your body to go through its daily processes, say digesting or even creating energy, you are going to need just a little bit of sodium, okay? Now, what that's going to look like in realistic terms is basically 500 milligrams or 1/4 teaspoon of salt is how much your body needs to go through its daily process. Now, what we don't want you to do is go over 1,500 milligrams or 3/4 teaspoon of salt, okay? This is going to increase your risk of things like high blood pressure if you do go over this amount. Now, to end this segment, I'm going to go ahead and leave you with our 4 tips for moderation, okay? So increase that fruit and veggie intake. Switch over from whole milk to low fat milk. Increase your spice and herb usage in the kitchen, all right? So don't add on a whole bunch of salt onto your plate. And then lastly, just go ahead and choose no salt added or low sodium processed foods, all right? Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you all had a great time. Have a great day. Bye, guys.